Hi guys, Merlyn Silva here, Ableton certified trainer, and I'm just making this quick video to show you through a device that I've built that I'm giving away for free. So this device is called Twaash, and it's based on iZotope Twaash, or Twaash 2, and this is something that I use all the time, both in sound design and mixing. I find on top of iZotope's awesome algorithms for distortion and dynamics, it's just a really convenient and well-organized series of effects that kind of applies itself to almost any use, especially creatively in sound design, as I said. So just to recap, we've got a filter, a couple of stages of distortion, a second filter, some convolution reverb, some dynamics, and a delay. And yeah, as I said, I use this all the time, and I find that I really I get a lot out of this series of effects. But I did realize that actually this is all possible to achieve within Ableton Live itself. And while it's convenient and not to downplay it in any way iZotope's algorithms, I thought it would be nice to have something I can go to, and particularly I can macro up, so I can use my push to get into some really deep sound design. So here it is. It's quite a lot going on, but if you've found your way around Twaash before, this should be really self-explanatory. So I'm just going to do a quick demo here, and the download for this will be freely available in the comments section of this video. Cool. So to begin with, we've got a dry and wet knob so that you can mix this in and out of what you're doing. And I'll just start playing one of these beats here. Cool. And to begin with, we've got the filter section here. We got some pre-EQ, some low cut, some high cut, and this morph filter here, I've enabled it so that if you move past 0, it will turn on, and then we can use the envelope to get some kind of filter movement. Cool, and you also have an LFO and the frequency control here if you want to do some rhythmic kind of pumping. But here we are in the main section. This is the multiband distortion section. And this is being split into 3 bands, and I've used the multiband dynamics plugin to do this. Each band has got a crossover point that we can control here in the mid-high or low-mid crossover. We also have some volume, so we can even out the gain at the end of these chains, and we've got the dry wet control for our distortion, saturation, or drive, which is the next part. So these 3 split bands on each chain, we've got this triple drive that I've created here. Now this actually calls into effect all of the 3 potential distortion possibilities within Ableton Live's stock effects. We've got the drive that you can find in the filter and also in sampler and simpler and stuff, and we can select through the different circuits of the classically modeled filter and the amount of drive here as well. Now after this, we also have a bit of a low pass filtering, just in case you want to take the top off of that distortion. Next we have the saturation, and I'll just open this chain actually so you can see it. So you can see here the drive. So next we've got the saturator. We can control the type here, and we can control how much drive it has, and the dry wet, which is mapped to the main macro set here. Finally, we've got the overdrive, and we can control the filter, the dry wet amount for just further shaping. And yeah, sometimes it's very cool to use just filter out a particular part of the sound. So I'll get playing with this so we can turn this beat into something nasty. And we'll turn up these dry wets first. Let's saturate the low. Maybe getting a bit boomy, take the tops out of that. Let's get in there with the mids, bit of overdrive. Saturate the hell out of the tops. And go back here maybe. We'll get a bit of filter movement in there. Take a bit of the highs off. Awesome, so you can keep playing to these to your heart's content, and obviously 3 kinds of distortion, loads of sonic possibilities there. I'm just going to close this triple drive section so we can move on. And cool, so after this multiband distortion, we've got a second filter section, and this is identical to the one before it. We can kind of knock off the highs or the lows, or we can do a second level of animation with the morph or the LFO. So let's quickly do that. Actually, I'm going to distort this a bit more. I think it's nasty enough yet. Cool, getting somewhere. So yeah, we've just taken a bit of the pre-EQ off of here. And we've got an LFO going on that morphing filter. So next, the juicy bit, the convolution reverb that's included in Ableton Live Suite. I've got it preset on the ambience and small rooms. Also fun to play with in this context is the experimental section. But we can just scroll through a few of these and find, a little bit of kind of roominess and character to our sound. Go for the experimental. Let's take the head. Cool, so we're getting a weird kind of flangey thing going on there, but obviously that could go on for ages, and you can always drop in your own impulse responses by just dragging and dropping here. And that's a wormhole that is a lot of fun to go down. So after we've had a good play with the convolution reverb, we're now into the dynamic section. And what I've done here is map a gate so that you can get rid of some noise of the input. And I've also enabled a pre and post gain, so we can kind of really get control of our gain staging here. There's a bit of attack and release for the gate, and also the option to switch between single and multi-band compression. Finally, we've got a dry wet knob for the compression itself, but I've left the actual compression devices unmacroed so that you can really dial in your settings yourself. I think that really this is a bit more appropriate when we're using compression to kind of squeeze things together and tidy things up. So here we go. I'll just press play and turn the volume down because this is going to get a bit louder. And what I'll do now is give 100% wet compression and enable multiband. And as you can see here, I've already squeezed down the signal quite a bit. It's getting pretty intense. And I can just dial this back to get a kind of New York style situation. Or alternatively, I can just give it a gentle squeeze to help with the dynamics. And just at the input, I will gate it a little bit. Cool. So finally, just after this dynamic section, and just like in the original Twaash, we have the delay section. So I'll just open this up, This is 3 kinds of delay that you can choose between. We've got filter, ping pong, and grain delay, and all of these are mapped to the macros here. So we've got the time, the feedback, the wet level. We've also got the option to turn on free time here, so that we can do some non-grid delays. The filter frequency, or the filter of the wet signal, and then finally, the dry level. So I'll just play with this a little bit. So that's basically it, and something I find is if you go back to the beginning after going through these chains, you can also get some interesting and surprising results by playing with the original filter settings. So just check this out. Cool, so just to demonstrate, we've gone from here to here. Cool. And just for fun and games, we'll try that on a bass loop. Here's a bit of funky bass guitar. And I'll just turn that 100% wet. Great stuff. So loads of fun to be had here, especially if you've got access to the macros. And one last note, I've also included in the download a version called Twaash Lite. The only difference here is that it uses a regular reverb unit instead of the convolution here. So it doesn't really give you all the sonic possibilities. I think this convolution is pretty important, but obviously if you don't have Live Suite yet, or if you are trying to save some CPU, then you have the option to use all of this work that I've done with a simple reverb unit for a bit of a room feeling. So yeah, there's actually 2 plugins. One's the light and one's the full version. And just on a final note, if you guys do download this and really enjoy it and use it to make some crazy sounds, one thing that I'm missing is a preset library, and iZotope Trash, one of the real awesome things about it is just opening up these presets and scrolling through to try and get some kind of inspiration, and that's what we don't have yet, although it is the next part of the project. So yeah, if you guys do make something really cool, I'd love it if you could just click the save button, give it a funky name, and email it to me or get in contact somehow, and yeah, together we can make a really cool database. Anyway, once again, Merlyn Silva, Ableton certified trainer. Really hope you get something out of this, and thanks for watching. See you later.